Hi, I'm Dave Darrington, Manager for Gainsight Success for Admins program, and welcome to Customer 360. By the end of this module, you should be able to navigate Customer 360 or C360, customize C360 to fit your organizational need, and create and configure success plans. Let's talk a little bit about what Customer 360 is, and then dive right into learning how to navigate. So Customer 360 is a very critical piece and powerful tool within Gainsight that shows you a 360-degree view of a customer. Clicking on a customer name hyperlink from anywhere within Gainsight will immediately give you access to this C360 page. It brings in data from multiple systems which a customer success manager or an account manager may want to have all in one place. So it's very valuable to them and also potentially to you. It could help you prepare or help your customers prepare for customer calls or meetings or just get some background if at any time that it's needed. The summary is the most important section. It's at the top of the page usually, limited to 6 cards and 6 more data points or fields down the side. So now I'd like to actually go into Gainsight and show you more about C360. So as you can see, I have right here on the screen a C360 page, but it's very important to step back a notch and take a look at how I could navigate to C360. So here I'm just looking at the customers page. Again, you can see that there are hyperlinks here. I could also go to one of my dashboards. So here I'll be looking at the scorecard summary view, and I'm just going to click one of them. And you'll see that it immediately takes me over to the C360 page. So when I said the summary is important, here I'll see 6 cards that are configurable and customer or fields with information such as status, industry, ARR, again configurable, comments down below. So there's a lot of information here at your fingertips, and this is coming from different ways, different resources. I'll get into more detail on the different sections and how they're configured at a later point in this discussion. But you can see that I can flow down the screen and I see different sections. I can see my scorecards and all the details associated with them. I have usage history, which may be important to you. I have contacts, features, and again, these are configured based on your preference. Additionally, you can jump to a different customer name. You can do that by simply going to the right-hand top field, looking for whether a search starts with or a customer search contains. Let's say I want to look for a company called Yahoo, no small company here. I could search on that company and I can bring up my C360 page specific to that, again, anywhere within. You can see immediately at the top bar as well whether they're active or they're subscribed, and you have additional drop downs whether you want to export the information or not. Further, on the right hand side of the page, you can see shortcuts that can jump me down the screen to different sections that I find important. For example, I can jump immediately to my scorecard or my usage history section and get to the information very quickly without a lot of fuss. So this is a great entree to what C360 can do. So let's jump back over to some slides that I have. And again, I want to bring your attention and gain your familiarity with what this part of the software does. C360 allows you to display what you as your organization, you as your admin, determine is most important about your customers. Do you want to see customer evaluations such as ARR, ACV, etc.? How important to you is to have the health score up higher, or do you want to see it down lower? Depending on how you track support tickets, maybe I want to see that higher or lower in my C360, NPS scores, etc. So there's many things that you can show. This may, again, be customized to prioritize your preferred information, what your folks need to have at their fingertips first. You can also create and configure success plans within C360. So I'd like to talk a little bit about C360 administration now. So you as the Gainsight administrator have a key role in customizing this interface, customizing C360 to reflect your organization's needs. So via administration, C360 sections, which I'll show you in just a moment, you'll find information regarding customizing all the summary sections, fields, and widgets. So they may be selected from the account and customer info objects. Widget calculations predefined by Gainsight will also be shown in documentation. So knowledge of how your account and customer info fields in Force.com environment are set up is going to make this easier to configure. So that's good to know. And if you have many sections, I do want to reiterate that load times of the C360 screen may be impacted. So prioritized based on what your team wants to see right away. So let's shift back over, and again, I'm looking at just a random customer that I have set up in a test environment, and you can see this is how I prefer to set up my organization. But let's say I want to change this. So what I'll do next is click on Administration, and you'll only see that if you're an administrator. And then I'll bring your attention over here to the top right of the menu bar where we have C360 Sections. So that, if you click on it, you'll immediately start to see all of the fields that you have access to display on the page. Now, let me bring your eyes down the screen so we can see summary, attributes, scorecards. Okay, some of these look familiar. I definitely know that the first on my screen is the summary, then the scorecard, then the usage history. And you'll see that I'm looking here at the C360 column. If I have the checkbox marked to on, then that means that it will show up in my environment. So now let's do an exercise. What we'd like to do is choose some fields to display and rearrange by clicking or dragging appropriately. So you may have some setting fields, some formatting that we want to do, and follow along with this exercise. And within your environment, if you have a demo org, this is very safe. If you don't, you may want to be very cautious because this will change and affect what your users will see. So let's go ahead and make some changes. So here I am. I'm on a customer. Abbott is the name. And doesn't matter so much what they are. So I'm going to go into my administration in the back end. I'm going to go into C360 Sections. And let's say I want to move scorecard, or somebody has asked me to move scorecard ahead of summary. Why? I'm not sure, but just to demonstrate that I can easily do that. Bring your eyes over to the left or the right side of the screen. On the right side of the screen, you'll see icons to move to top, move up, move down, move to bottom, and to drag up and down. So I have a lot of options on how I want to move this. Let's say I want to just drag this up. So I can grab it, take it up to the top, and now if I go back and I refresh this page, I should immediately see the change. As expected, you can see that my scorecard now shows at the very top, and immediately underneath that is now the summary. So of course, that's not how I really practically see that happen. So let's move that back down. And I just hit the down arrow. And now I can see my summary is back at the top and the scorecard is there. So if I refresh again, very straightforward. And I'll have everything back the way I wanted it to. Okay, so now indeed I see summary at the top, scorecard down below. Now let's do something else, and this is something optional. Let's say I want to add a new section. You can pick any section here, and this is just for show. Let's just do test. Let's do a related list. Let's select, maybe we'll do contact. I know it already exists. And just select something here. Again, if you're working in your production environment, be cautious here. And just follow along. So here I've added a new field, and that should show up at the very bottom of my row. I don't want that to happen. I want that to be very plain and obvious to me. So I'm going to drag that up to the top, and I'm going to refresh my page. In this case, I'm not so concerned that it works or presents exactly what I want because I'm doing this for a demo, but you can see at the top, it's already loading test. It's showing some contacts, and not a lot of information to actually show in my demo environment, but it does indeed work, and pretty straightforward and fairly easy to do. Now this one, I don't want it, so I'm actually going to remove that field, and as you can see, it's removed quickly and easily, and if I refresh the page again, it's gone. So this is really new, really nice. What you see is what you get. Things are done fairly straightforward and it's easy to do. Okay, so let's go a little bit further and talk about the section types that we have available to us at hand. First off, we have embeds. Now, what we can do is embed something like Chatter. Chatter is one that we generally set up. We have that in our Gong or Gainsight on Gainsight environment, and it's a great way to associate an account to the actual customer. And so now we can see everything that's going on right within Gainsight, which is really cool. Well, let's say you wanted to share files. Well, then perhaps you have a Box account for your corporation, and you can embed Box directly and associate it with a customer. And now I've got all my files being shared with my customer success team. Similarly for Dropbox. At Gainsight, we also link to our Claris and Roadmap, so this is pretty helpful. So lots of stuff, and embeds are very useful and will help you to have what you need at your fingertips and extend the capabilities of what you have fairly easily. So going down a little bit further, let's talk about related lists. So basically what these do is display report data from a Reports 2.0, report builder. Perhaps you want to show what's going on with my support cases. So you go into Reports 2.0, which is a later segment that we'll discuss. You create a custom report, and then you can actually bring that right into my C360 and present it there. So it's like a little mini report, all embedded, associated with everything I need. So it's really great. Additionally, we have standard or available out-of-the-box options. They would need to be enabled, but they include, of course, the summary, sponsor tracking, which is a really great, really powerful feature to know if people are coming in and going out of one of your customers, attributes, and of course success plans. So there's a lot of different section types here, and again, for your value, here you can see they're all listed under type. Standard is standard summary, standard scorecard. Related list is something like a context. It's related because it's related to the account ID. Here you can see daily aggregation data, which is a report, and then box, which is an embed page. So very straightforward and easy to understand. So let's go on to create a C360 section from scratch, and we'll do a little bit harder one this time as an example. So again, we are in administration, and I'll start from the top again just to bring your attention to the fields you need to do and help you remember. I click administration, C360 sections, and now once again, like I did in my trivial example, let's click add new section. Now here, let's do something a little bit different. So I'm going to enter the section name as show label NPS results. Pretty common, relatively useful thing. I want to show that in C360, of course. Now I'm going to use a related list in this case, and for my source, I'm actually going to select a source object. So I'm going to choose JBCXM and CTA, so we're looking at call to action, C. Okay. So I'm going to select reports to show in this section. That is saying select reports to be shown in this section that's down below, and these are checkboxes, so I can click on the information that I want to see. So in this case, let's just use number of CTAs by reason. What you have in your environment may differ slightly, and that's not particularly important. What's important is to actually see the outcome of this. So I've selected that again. Oh, I made a mistake here. So this is a good case to use the edit feature where I want NPS results, save. Great, now it's at the bottom. I want to bring that up top. Okay, and just for fun and for convenience for me in testing, I'll bring that all the way up to the top. Okay, and now you can see it's loading the NPS results, and voila, I have NPS results, and you can see a nice little graph. Tells me all the different reasons here. This is wonderful. It may be exactly what my team needs to see, and then we're pretty much done with that. So that's fairly straightforward, fairly easy to use. Okay, let's talk about another subject now. Let's talk about success plans. So success plans help a customer success manager monitor and drive success with individual customers. So these are based on objectives and criteria set for a specific time frame. A little bit different than call to actions, a little grouping of activities that we want to have over a set time. So these are intended more for high-touch customers rather than low or tech-touch type environments. And they include a new CTA type, which is called objective. Use cases for this may include something such as developing an internal plan to maintain and to grow an account, to set product goals with customers, and also perhaps to get customer buy-in at key milestones. That means this is my executive business review, my quarterly business review, etc. Let's go ahead and do an example with this. We have a couple of examples to show about configuring and working with success plans. What we want to do is enter success plan configuration. Now that may be further down over to the left, success plan configuration. And we're going to create 3 different plan types. These, in fact, are in my environment are already created. So I have, if I wanted to add a type, I can simply click Add Type over on the right, type the name in. I don't need to. In this case, I've created Joint, Internal, and Corporate. So now what we want to do is do a little more configuration on each of these plan types. So within the Success Plan info field, which is accessed by clicking the Edit button, now you get another interface that says Success Plan Information Field Configuration. What we want to do is add some additional fields. In this case, I've already done it just to save some time, but we have my default fields, Success Plan name, description, action plan, etc. But now we have some other ones. So I have added account name, billing state, province, CSM, account billing city, and billing country. So you may want other things. So just for practicality, let's actually add one more field here. And let's just say I want my billing zip and postal code. I can simply select that again by searching, and I can drag and drop, and there we go, we're done. When I save this, then it saves this information into the field configuration, and I'm done. So let's go back to my success plan configuration, and let's look at the objective categories as well. This is an optional step, but something that you may need to do. So in this case, if I wanted a different type of objective category, here I'm just going to say test. I can easily select it, save it, and you can see that the test category, objective category, now appears as well. Now let's go back to administration. And let's go into C360 sections. And let's go into the success plans section. And that's further down the page where you can see success plans. If I wanted to search for it, I could edit. So let me edit that. So now I want to perhaps show this in my C360. So I could very easily just click Show in C360, and I could save that. And that's a little bit far down the screen for me, so just for the sake of testing, again, if you're working in your environment, be cautious here, because you might be affecting people live. We'll put it up near the top. Now I can see that I have success plans here. I can see for this customer I have one that's ongoing, and I have all the details in the other fields, some of which I may have just created right here at my fingertips. I can actually create a new success plan and do what I need to do right here. So that's it for that example. Well, let's go further and let's create a success plan. So now within C360 itself, we can see that we have a success plan button under success plans that I just created and I just activated on my C360 environment. So if I click Add Success Plan, now I want to enter a name, a type, and a due date. So let's just add Dave's test plan. Let's do a type, joint, and a due date. Oh, let's give myself a month or more and save. Okay, cool. So now I can see that originally I had one and now I have two. And If I scroll down, I can see more information associated with this. You can see I have a test success plan, and now I have my Dave success plans, and I can click on those accordingly. I can see more information about that. I have 0 completed, 0 overdue, 0 trending, so perhaps I'm doing good, but this is in draft mode. Great. So now what I want to do is enter some more details around this. So let's go back to the screen, and let's say, let's just enter any old description. To be able to edit these fields, you need to click the Edit button. So now you can edit each of the fields, and you can make changes accordingly. Very straightforward, very easy to do. And if I click the check mark under it, it will save the information that I've just typed in, and I can move forward. So I've effected a change here on the success plan. I've created one. I've put in some basic information. So now what I want to do is actually create some CTAs associated with that. You would do that by clicking on the Objectives button, clicking on the plus objectives, and now I can create a CTA objective. And let's say in this case, I'm looking at an increase of product usage by 20%. So that's my subject. So here I may put my success criteria. So I might put at the end of Q3, average product usage increase by 20%. I've got my category, which I can define accordingly, according to my taste or my needs. I've got my customer name here, which I can't affect. Here I might want to assign this to an individual. And I also may want to associate contacts. If I have them associated with the account, it would pull up there. Set a due date for the objective. I want to put this pretty far out. And then any comments. And then I can click Save. And that will update the information. Great. So now what you can see, going back to the success plan screen, I have 0 of 1 completed. I can see that my call to action associated with the success plan has appeared, and now I can work that accordingly. So let's discuss some tips and tricks for C360 that would be helpful for you. Keep in mind that what information or data will be most helpful for CSMs to prepare for customer calls without having to look in multiple places is what you want to present within C360. Don't overcrowd the page. Remember that the more information you have will impact loading time. So consider your section order based on that. This is particularly important when you're working within a mobile platform. Say I load up on my mobile phone, my Android tablet, my iPad. That may be a very practical use case. You're on wireless, and you may not have the bandwidth like you do when you're at your corporate environment. So put what your customer success managers are going to need at their fingertips when they go into a customer meeting. They're offsite, and maybe they have lower bandwidth. Other sections to consider adding: attributes like additional account fields, such as internal executive sponsor, contacts. Show who is most important, who are the most important contacts to keep the CSM from searching around, those people at your fingertips. Opportunities, show all the opportunities that are open for a given account to show a sense of pipeline. And then cases, support cases will give you visibility into potential trouble areas. So you have all this at your fingertips, and it's really great to use. So thanks for joining. This is the end of this section.